people always referred to the Middle East as an unstable region of the world, and it wasn't unstable, excluding the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the Lebanese civil war and the Iraq-Iran war. I mean, these were all big events, but the region was fairly stable in the sense that there was a great deal of predictability when it came to leadership, right? There was a great deal of predictability in terms of their alliances. Obviously, the first major shock to that was the Iraq War, the U.S. invasion of Iraq in 2003. I'm not talking about the first Gulf War, but that was a major development. But between 2003 and 2011, that kind of stability still persisted. In 2011, that was the big change that you saw leaders across the region ousted. And then the other major change, which I think is Obama driven, it's not, it wasn't domestically, but it's the Iran deal, right? Those I think are the two major geopolitical shifts in the Middle East, which have, I think, redefined the region. The Middle East is a vastly different region in October of 2016 compared to where it was in October of 2010. It's a radically different place. I mean, I think still the critical dynamic in the region and the one that has the largest influence on the region is the Saudi-Iran dynamic, right? When you look at Iraq, or you look at Syria, or you look at Lebanon, or you look at Yemen, or you look at Bahrain, to a large degree, there is the influence of that Saudi-Iran proxy conflict unfolding in those countries, right? It's not the only determinant in Iraq. It's not the only determinant in Syria. It would be wrong to look at it like that. But the Iran-Saudi dynamic is, I think, the main thing that fuels conflict across the region. I think that when you look at that dynamic, there is perhaps some good news and some bad news. The good news is I don't believe that either Iran or Saudi Arabia have any particular interest in escalating the conflict beyond where it's gone over the last 5 years. I think the bad news is there's no indication that either of those two countries want to get together and de-escalate, that they want to get together and say, you know, what's a grand bargain that we can agree on that addresses both of our issues and both of our needs. I think the gaps between them are still too wide. And that's something that the next U.S. president is going to have to deal with. Nowhere. I don't think that the next U.S. president can really bring about any particular outcome that they want. I think the idea that the U.S. can decide on an outcome that it wants and have that outcome materialize, I think has been proven false if you look at the last several years. You know, if the U.S. had it their way, Mubarak would still probably be president, right? So do I have a high degree of confidence that the next U.S. president can take office and resolve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict? No. Do I think that the next U.S. president can take office and, you know, quickly resolve the Syrian civil war? No. Do I think that the next U.S. president can take office and you know, quickly use their influence to you know, decrease sectarian tensions in Iraq? No. So I think that the next U.S. president will probably be hamstrung in the region. They will have influence, they will have power, but I don't think that they will have the kind of political capital to be able to, you know, bring about a fundamental change to the region.